Hey guys, Jeff here from Anchor Point Tactical. Today, one of the things I'm going to go over is I'm going to go over tactical reloads. Okay, this is an essential skill. You should be able to do it on demand. We cover it in all the CCW classes, and this is just going to be a quick review for the folks who've been through the class and want to do some practice and some dry practice at home. To start that all out, everybody remembers my protocols. I come out here, I download my guns, all live ammunition goes into a locked up case, all live guns, and then everything's visually, physically checked, right? And then my whole surrounding, I have concrete wall here, I have concrete wall here, and I have concrete wall over there. And so every time I do that, to come out and do dry practice, I go through that protocol. I don't want anybody to forget that. It's like one of the most important things that you do. I don't want to just come out here and start putting live ammunition and live guns all over the place, okay, without having a protocol, how I'm going to do my dry practice. Okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is just do a real quick check of the gun. Another check, just to make sure, you can't check enough times, all right, is I have an empty magazine. I visually and physically inspect the gun to make sure that there's no ammunition in it, okay? I'm going to let that go home. I'm going to reholster, looking myself into my holster, like we talked about, and then I have 2 magazines with inert rounds in them, okay? And that's all been checked prior to this, okay? So, let's just talk a little bit, first of all, slide lock, okay? The slide lock reload, okay, or emergency reload. That's when you fire all your rounds, you come out, let's say you have a 10-round magazine. You come out, you fire 10 rounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. The gun slide locks. The lock slides to the rear because you have an empty magazine, which causes it to lock. Okay? So from there, it's going to be okay. Well, like I say, we come back, we come into our workspace, we come down into here, we drop the magazine, we turn it into our workspace, we reload, put it back in, extend, prep, press, and we can fire. Okay? So just a quick coverage of that is not what we're talking about here, okay? It's 2 different concepts, all right? So this concept's going to be that I have a gun, I have a full magazine in it, it's loaded, okay? I bring the gun out, I have to fire, right? How many of the rounds I have to fire? 4, 5, 6. Urban myth that you're going to know how many rounds that you fired or count your rounds. If somebody taught you that, leave the class, okay? Well known that doesn't happen. That's just in the movies somewhere, okay? Not even in the movies anymore. It's so old, okay? But we may know, I only think I fired a half a magazine or whatever the case might be, right? So what I want to do is, and putting this in context, this is just how we would practice it in our dry practice, part of the time, is that if I actually wanted to reload the gun with a fresh magazine that was topped off with rounds in it, I would move to cover and concealment would be the ideal thing to do. We don't want to stand out and just do it out in the open. You're an open target, okay? So, but we're in context today, we're just talking techniques, okay? So don't confuse the two. When you actually go out and practice this, you need to practice moving along with it. So that becomes on demand, all right? And that's part of how you're hardwired. That you know, if I got to do a tactical reload, that I either need to be moving while I'm doing it, or I need to be behind cover and concealment is probably the better option. Okay, so I came up, I fired my rounds, I decide I'm behind cover and concealment, and I decide I want to put a fresh magazine in the gun, which I carry a fresh magazine, okay? Whether you do or not is another discussion that we can have another time. Okay, so just for training purposes, I'm going to put this up here because that's where I carry my extra magazine. I carry it in my front left pocket. Some people have a magazine holster with it, magazine holder. They can put it in the back pocket, put it in here. An extra one in the car in the glove compartment, not a good idea. In your purse, okay, not such a good idea either. If you can't access stuff quickly, there's really no sense in having it. Okay, so I decide I'm going to change up. I want to make sure that I top this off because I don't know what's happening in my environment, but I just had to use my firearm, but I'm behind cover and concealment. There's a lull in the action, so to speak. That's kind of old cliche of what they used to say in the training, but it works, okay? So I come up here. The first technique would be that I come up, I grab the magazine out of my pocket. It's already indexed. That's why I like these Vitkos, because they have these really big pockets where I can access this in here, okay? I come up, I bring the gun in front of me. I'm going to shoot. I'm going to press and release the magazine, take it between this finger, reload another one, and then I can fire again, okay, while I'm still holding this. That's a problem for some people. They don't have the dexterity to do that, okay? For me, it's never really been a real problem. I understand under actual stress, there's going to be degrading of your fine motor skills, but you know, your trigger finger is a fine motor skill. So isn't releasing the magazine. It just depends on how much you've practiced it, right? But I understand it. Maybe your hands are not big enough, fingers aren't long enough, whatever the case might be, okay? So there's another method that I like, okay, that I've learned, and let's just have an understanding. There's probably 5 or 10 different methods out there that you can use. These are just the 2 that I like. So I come up, I fire my weapon. I decide I have time. I'm under cover and concealment. I want to change the magazine. Okay. All I have to do here is I just drop the magazine. I'm going to put that in my back pocket. I'm going to go to my front pocket, get a fresh magazine, load up, and I'm ready to shoot again. Now, I took out, the magazine that I took out had rounds in it. And when I took it out, I saw that it had rounds. So if I'm shooting, I come up here and I decide, oh, I'm going to put a different magazine in. I take this out. I see that it's got rounds in it. I put it in my back pocket. Okay. I grab another magazine, bring it up, feed it into the gun, and I can shoot again. I don't need to do a slap and rack. Okay. Because this isn't a misfire. This is just a feeding of a new magazine that is topped off, so that I know I have my 10 or 15 rounds, whatever the size magazine is that you carry, that I'm topped off in here and that's in here correctly. Okay? So this is an essential skill. You should be able to do this on demand without any thinking about it. So it's very easy to practice. You can run 10, 15 minutes of this once a week, once a month, whatever it might be, and get it so that it's automatic, okay? So that you just can do it, muscle memory, without thinking about it. But if the last time you did it was when we covered it in a CCW class, and that was a year ago or a year and a half ago, you're way behind. This is something that you're going to have to think about if you actually have to use it. So here's the perfect opportunity to do one of the moves that you can do, here's the perfect opportunity. Here's one of the techniques that you can practice, of almost all of them except actual firing, in dry practice safely, so that you have the motor skill to do this very quickly and efficiently. All right? You don't want to try to figure this out in the middle of an emergency, an actual real shooting. Okay? Almost like anything that you don't want to have to try to figure it out when you're under the most amount of stress. Okay? So that's all I'm going to cover today. Is just a tactical reload. I want everybody to think about that. Give it a try. The 2 different techniques. See what works for you. So if you guys have any questions on the technique, just send me a personal message. All right. You can text me or email me, and I'll get back with you on it. Okay. So just get out there, do some work, get some training in there, and be prepared. Don't wait until something happens to try to figure it out, okay? Now's the time to get prepared. Okay, everybody have a good day. I'll talk to you later.